We just finished our first week of geometry, and in true Chestertonian fashion, we started at the end so we could end at the beginning. The end of the syllabus has taxicab geometry, and oh, these freshmen may be coming in from homeschool families. They're K through 8. As the first week of school, they're scared witless. So I wanted to give them a game. The game that relates to taxicab geometry is the Dragon 15 type. You may have seen it before. The great chess player Bobby Fischer claimed to have been the fastest to solve this puzzle in about 30 seconds. The objective, you slide the pieces around and then get them back in order, just like a Rubik's Cube. And the original order is 1, 2, 3, 4 down to 15, the blank right here. You can play other games on this puzzle, maybe just red, white, which is the same thing as odd, even, if you don't have the same coloring scheme. There's yet another kind of game that I'll mention in a bit here. First, I want to get into the history. Normally, I don't care about who gets credit for discovering a little puzzle like this, but in this case, there's a bit of a kerfuffle that I find interesting. So normally, I thought that Sam Lloyd, the great puzzlist of the 19th century, had invented this puzzle. And so did many other people until recently, when it has been decided that a man named Noyes Chapman invented it. He's a postmaster in Canada. His name is not the unpleasant sound. It is spelled Noyes. He ostensibly invented it in 1874 and only applied for the patent in 1880 in February, 1 month after the game became very popular in the US. He didn't win the patent because the patent office decided it was too similar to a game. It was almost identical to a game that Edward Kinsey had submitted in an application in 1878. So he won the patent a couple years earlier and beat out Noyes. So that was in February. By April, the game had spread to Europe, and by July, it was old news. 11 years later is when Sam Lloyd declared that he invented the puzzle, and he tenaciously clung to that claim until 20 years later when he died. And that's how that all came to be, apparently. Noyes also suggested another game involved with piece. His game, and his version, you could take the pieces out more like this, where the tiles just come right out. This version I got from a Ukrainian seller on eBay. And it's more conducive to our purposes as well, where you can take the tiles out. His game also included one where you take all the tiles out and you try to put them back in so that the rows and the columns all sum to the same number. He counted the blank spot to be worth 16. So if you have if you want to get the same number, you can find that out by summing the numbers 1 through 16 and then dividing by 4 rows. 1 plus 2 up to 16 is 16 times 17 over 2, or 136. You divide 136 by 4 and you get 34. So if this counts as 16, you'd want each row and each column to sum to 34. You can also do it if you count the blank as 0. Then you just sum 1 to 15 and then divide by 4. 1 plus 2 up to 15 is 120, because of 15 times 16 over 2. And you divide 120 by 4, you get 30. So if this counts as 0, you can play where you want each row and column to sum to 30. You can put these two together so that you're no longer allowed to take the pieces out. You have to keep them in the tray and still reach this magic position where the row and column sum is the same. Also, so Sam Lloyd enjoyed making these little cartoons. So let me show you a cartoon he made. Here we go. This is his cartoon with the puzzle almost solved except for the 14 and the 15. And he offered $1,000 to anyone who could solve this puzzle from this position. You can tell your students that it still hasn't been solved and $1,000 is still open if you want to try for it. Of course, it is impossible to solve with the 14 and 15 swapped like this. That's a fun little thing, and it actually ties into the whole reason that we're studying this game, and because the taxi cab metric will help you decide whether a position is solvable or not. Right. Finally, if you do want a set of these, then I bought a whole lot of these little cheaper version than this. This is Bakelite, and this is just a cheaper plastic. So if you want a classroom set, I could probably fix you up with a bunch of these. They come in purple and red and pink, something like that. I'll just do $2 a piece. I wouldn't be making any money on it. Actually, I got a pretty good deal considering how much they run for usually. So if you want something like that, you should contact me, or maybe if we meet up at the next Chesterton conference, we can do that as well. All right, I'll see you next time.